Hey y'all, what's up? I'm Kay Johnson, and today we're going to be giving all the information about certified daily inspiration. Certified daily inspiration is something that touched me about 3 years ago, and I thought it was important because and motivation is good. It motivates you, right? It fuels you. It gives you that extra boost, right? But inspiration, it stirs something that's already inside of you. It it turns on the light. It transforms your mind. It renews your mind. So certified daily inspiration is something very special because we all need that daily stuff to stir, to have us have an expectation. So today we're talking about how to unlock blessings. And I will truthfully say that I'm still learning and applying these things that I'm going to talk to you about today. But let's get into it because this is going to be good. The first thing I want to say is how to unlock blessings. It requires faith. And if you don't know much about faith, then we're going to talk a little bit about it today. So there are 4 points that I want to make. And the first point is how to unlock blessings is number one, through your tongue. See, the tongue is a very, 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 very powerful tool, resource, organ. And it was given to us freely, most of us. If you have a tongue, it was given to you freely. You were born with it. And a lot of the times, the things that are given to us without a price, we just somehow don't care about it. We don't realize the importance of it. We don't realize the power in it. So the first thing is tongue. And I want to say that I've been reading this book called The Tongue, A Creative Force. And it's very eye-opening to some simple things. But number one is the tongue. You have what you say. You have what you say. So if you say that today I'm expecting good things should happen because you said it out of your mouth. If you say, oh, today I'm HURTING, I'm SICK, I'm CONFUSED, then guess what? You will be those things. It's just that, it's really that simple. So how to unlock blessings come from the tongue. And we have to understand, I was talking to a friend of mine and he told me, he said, blessings are responsibility. If you think about a child, they would say, oh my gosh, it's a beautiful blessing. This is my blessing. But that child is a responsibility. A house can be a blessing. A ministry can be a blessing. A business can be a blessing. A friendship can be a blessing. But it is a responsibility. Your clothes, if you get new clothes, it can be a blessing, but it is a responsibility. A car can be a blessing, but it is a responsibility. And responsibilities mean that you have to take care of them. You have to cultivate them. You have to see the beauty in them. So anyway, you create your world by the words that you say. If you say good things, then guess what? Good things will follow what you say. If you say bad things, negative things, then guess what? Bad things, negative things will follow what you say. So I was reading this book, and I'm going to jump to when he's talking about an investment that he made. He made a $25,000 investment plus some more for farming. And after this, he said after he nearly lost the original investment of $25,000 or more, he said, through the confusion the enemy caused, I lost faith and turned negative on life. I thought God had done this to me. That was what the enemy had put in my mind. After several months, I realized that the negative thoughts in my mind did not agree with the word of God. Then the enemy tried to convince me that I had failed God and that was the reason I had lost the money. God was mad at me. So anyway, he goes on to say, this kind of sounds familiar, right? You do something and then we think, oh my gosh, I failed, blah, blah. So in that confused state of mind, he turned negative. He turned very negative. So he began to say, it doesn't matter what I do, it won't work out anyway. So he still was farming 800 acres of land. And because he did that very well, he was all successful in it. But after that, he turned negative. So he went on to say that he went on to make negative statements for 2 whole years. He said the same thing, and he got just exactly what he said. He said he didn't even earn enough money to buy his driver's license. So I want to move on to say that he said his confession destroyed his prayer. He said, I saw failure everywhere. I believed it and confessed it daily that he was a failure. He was so at the end of his rope financially. Anyway, he read this book and it said, people that think wrong believe wrong. And when they believe wrong, they act wrong. So after he heard that and read that book, he said he began to pray and he was like, God, I prayed and it's not working out, as he was praying. And God was like, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm praying. And God was like, no, you're not. Who told you that it's not working out? Anyway, so it's just beautiful to see that, even in our prayers sometimes when we're like praying, God, this thing is not working out. We're being counterproductive. It's contrary to what we really want. And doubt can really hinder us. Doubt and negativity, a negative mind can really hinder us. So the second thing to unlock blessings would be forgiveness. And this is really tough to talk about. But I wrote about it in my book, The Beginner's Vibe Guide. Forgiveness. 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 So when we don't forgive, we block our blessings. Our blessings are locked away. When we don't forgive, we make room for more things to go in the other direction than what we really want. When we don't forgive, we leave doorways open. If you think about your room or your home, if you leave the door open all day, all week, what's going to get inside of your house? Bugs, people that you did not welcome into your home, because the door is open. And that is how unforgiveness can be. When we are not forgiving, we leave doors open to contaminate our homes, to come in and take things from us, to take the blessings that we already have. So forgiveness is one of those continual practices to make sure that our blessings are always unlocked. It's hard to forgive people, but it's sometimes even harder to forget. And, forgiveness, you have to really put yourself in a posture of humility, because just think about it. You're not always perfect. You're not. And this daily inspiration is going to be a little bit, what's that word I want to use? A little bit more significant, because forgiveness is really something that we all need to practice all the time. You just never know what you're doing and what you're saying to someone and how that affects them. And it could be blocking some blessings that you would like in your life. So think about it like this. If you think about like the street and how it's paved with cement, right? And you think about the opposite of a garden. A garden has soil and it can be soft and you can break it up. Cement, once it's there, it's really hard to break it up. It may take years and years and years for like rain and natural disasters to like break it up. So you think about your heart as garden or as soil and not as cement. When your heart is like cement, it's hard for seeds to be planted. It's really impossible almost for seeds to be planted on cement because they can't be planted, they can't grow. And so if you think about your blessings, sometimes things start in seed form. And so when you're planting seeds, you have to make sure that the seeds are planted in soil, which is soft ground. And our heart can become very hard like cement, which is because of unforgiveness, which leads to blocked blessings. So we have to make sure that our hearts are always soft and ready to receive. Because when they're like cement, it's hard to receive. It makes it really, really hard to break the ground to receive blessings. So our heart has to always be in a position and a posture ready to receive. Cement cannot receive seeds. It's too hard. It's not the right ground. It's not the right environment. Number 3, giving generously. This can be really tough, you know, to give generously. First of all, give to someone who cannot do something for you. Like, give to someone without expecting them to give back to you. That is how you unlock blessings. That is how you unlock blessings. And then the second piece of that is by tithing. Giving your first, that 10%, giving that to your creator. Because that makes room for your creator to give generously to you. Those blessings that you're looking for, I believe there are blessings that are stored for you, but there are some principles that you have to understand. Principles. There are principles we have to understand. And there's principles to unlocking blessings. We might not realize it all the time, but there are principles to unlocking blessings. And then number 4, stewarding, which is a nice word for like teaching us how to handle our blessings properly. How many times have you gotten a new car or new clothes or a new friendship or a new home or just something new and you were so excited about it, but after months go by, that newness wears off. After months goes by in that relationship, in your marriage, it wears off. That friendship, the newness of that friendship, it wears off. And then you start being very negative about it. You start not even cleaning up as often as you did. You start doing less of the things that you did in the newness of it. And one way to continue to unlock blessings is really taking care of those blessings throughout the entire term of the blessing. You have to take care of the blessing of marriage. Marriage is a responsibility, but because it is a blessing to be in a marriage. It is a blessing to be joined to someone in this life and to share love. Some people don't get that. Some people don't want that. Some people are bitter because they don't have that. But if you have the blessing of a marriage, then you have to continue to take care of it for the lifetime of it. That's called properly handling the marriage. Friendships, you have to properly handle the friendship. And the reason why sometimes we don't properly handle these things, I have to go back to self. We don't properly handle ourselves because we're so used to being with ourselves. But you're a walking and talking blessing. You are. And you have to properly handle yourself. When you properly handle yourself, you also properly handle other people and other blessings. How about, you got this car for so long and you stop vacuuming it so often, you stop washing it so often. What about dishes in your home? You start getting very lax on those things and it just starts to dwindle. But when you buy something else new, you're like, oh, there's newness again. You're so ready to take care of it. You're so ready to talk about it. You're so ready to because newness can wear off. But your commitment to the blessing, your commitment to the responsibility cannot wear off. We have to find better ways to be happy about it. We have to find new ways to be happy about what we're doing, what we have. And, some of these blessings are expensive. And some life lessons cost for expensive lessons. Yes. Trust me, I know. I've paid some expensive lessons by being in relationships that I didn't need to be in, and I suffered harm from it. Whether that was my car getting broken into and having to reestablish some things like my credit card and my driver's license, or like me missing a flight because I was getting lax and I thought I knew how to do what I needed to do. and I had to pay for another flight. That's an expensive blessing. But now I know how to be better steward of flights, right? A better steward of my time, rather. It's really not about the flight, it's about my time. So today was all about how to unlock blessings. And the 4 points that we went over was number 1, your tongue. Number 2, forgiveness. Number 3, giving generously. And number 4, stewarding, which is properly handling your blessings. Remember, blessings are responsibilities. Your friendship is a blessing. Your relationship with your parents, your siblings, any people in your family is a blessing. Your relationship with the bank for business, your relationship with colleagues, your relationship with your neighbors, strangers, all of that has to be stewarded properly, handled properly, because it is a blessing. And you are a walking, talking, living, breathing blessing. So if you are that, you have to speak like you are. You are a blessing. Share this with 3 people who you know who are a blessing in your life. Share this with 3 people. Tag 3 people and say, watch this, because you need to unlock blessings. And I believe that this is the key to the principles of unlocking blessings. And make sure that you give. My Cash App is below, my PayPal, and my Zelle. Because I believe that there is something that can be learned from understanding how to steward and unlock our blessings. So go forth and have an amazing day. And vibe out. Share this with 3 people. Peace, y'all.